63 car, and look what it looks like. I mean, that is going
Welcome back. I'm Gaston Rossato. This is season 8, episode 3.
And I'm Rossato, and today we're going to be talking about these two beauties right here and the concourse we were just a part of.
That's right. But before we get started, folks, please hit that subscribe button. Your support is very, very much appreciated. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram. All links down below, of course, in the description box.
That's right.
All right, Renzo, let's get started. We're talking about the 2021 Ferrari Club of America National Meet. Now, we're very fortunate this year because, for those of you who don't know, we're located in Miami, Florida, and the event was hosted in Sebring, Florida, at the very historic Sebring racetrack, of course.
And why we were fortunate, because every year that national meet takes place somewhere different around the world. So being that it's right in our backyard was amazing.
It was very easy to get to. I remember last year it was canceled, of course, because of COVID. Year before that was Scottsdale, Arizona. Year before that it was in New York. Year before that we were also fortunate because it was in Daytona.
That's right.
Next year, however, it would actually be in Montreal, Canada, so we're going outside of the country. I don't think we'll be taking cars to that one.
Probably not.
But I will be there present, hopefully. We were there basically in two parts for the event. I was invited to be there as a Ferrari judge, like I go for most years. I was there for the flat 12 category, so basically 512 BBIs and Testarossas.
Yeah, and I know what you're thinking. You guys took a Testarossa and he's judging Testarossa, a little bit of conflict of interest there. But this Testarossa was not in that flat 12 category. This was for the preservation class.
Preservation class.
So totally different class.
Absolutely, no conflict of interest. That is always very much clarified. I'm not the only judge that may have those kind of conflicts. Yeah. Those things are always sorted out, and it's a very fair game. There's no there's no favorites here. Some of you might recognize this car behind us, the 1991 car that we purchased many years ago. 1,600 miles currently. I remember when we did a video about this car, it was 1,500 miles. Yeah. It's got 1,600 and change. We did go to Daytona 2017. We took home a Platinum Award. We took home a Best in Class Award and the Copa Bella Macchina.
That's right.
Then, I believe it was Cavallino 2019 or 18. We also took home a Platinum Award for the car. And now, like Renzo said, it went into preservation class. Now, what does that mean? Number one, the car needs to be 30 years old to qualify for preservation class. That's the only reason why it never went in there before.
Right.
This is the first year the car can qualify because it's in 1991. The car needs to be a real original car.
Yes.
No paint work, no swapping of parts, interior. Kind of like, as the word suggests, preservation. You want to maintain its original components, parts, paint, and whatnot.
That's right.
Things like tires are always expected to be replaced. Batteries,
it's only
consumables obviously will be replaced. Although we did replace the tires on this car last year for the first time, and those tires are still preserved. we kept the tires, right? The car is no longer ours. We have sold it to a local collection, but we are still fortunate enough to manage the car and represent the car.
That's right.
So,
and as much as I would have loved to get these both these cars and drive them to Sebring, that's not what happened. We did trailer them over there, got them down. They stayed in the trailer overnight. The next day was waking up nice and early. He has his judges meeting, get the cars on the track. We were laid out on the straightaway of Sebring, which is amazing to be on that track with such history.
It was, and let me tell you, it's an honor to be not only representing these cars, but to be in such, again, a historic track like Sebring. Renzo, like you said, we were on the straightaway. That's basically the Concours field.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't glamorous, but it was raw motorsports.
No, it was great.
And that, to me, means a lot more. Being there, I learned that the straightaway still has the original concrete pour. So, I mean, you're literally walking on the grounds of where the most significant cars and drivers have basically cemented no point intended, but history, right? I mean, we're talking about Fangio, Sterling Moss.
I mean, the list goes on.
The whole story of the GT40 and winning the 24 hours, beating Ferrari. I mean, and you see those photographs, and they're up there throughout the track and even in the hotel. You know, I'm not gonna lie. When I was driving on that concourse field, the straight, I mean, I gave it a nice first gear pull on the 250, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, I'm on what an honor. I'm at Sebring with a Ferrari 250 on the straight, pulling some revs here. Yeah. So it gave me goosebumps. I gotta say, that was just that alone was the entire trip already worthwhile. 100%.
So I mean, listen, Gaston was obviously busy with the whole judging and of his class, and I was in charge of representing both these beauties and getting through the whole judging process.
Which was a challenge because he had both cars completely.
Yes.
It was one straight line of cars.
Yeah, and then we were on complete opposite ends for both cars. So luckily they worked with us. They had the Testarossa go first and the Lusso go third in line. So it gave me time to come back to the Lusso. And I wasn't really nervous at first. And that starts to change when you have those three judges that getting on a knee and just looking at every little thing on the car and asking questions and asking you to open the door, turn on the engine, turn on the lights, put the turning signals on.
I know, it's so
turn
nerve-wracking.
on the AC. You know, it starts to get a little nerve-wracking.
And it doesn't matter how many times you do it and how exactly you know how it's going to play out. You can't help but get nervous.
Yeah.
And even myself as a judge, you know, I made it around to the Lusso by the time it was being judged. You were halfway through it.
Yeah.
And I'm just getting so nervous because, you know, number one, you just don't know how these cars are going to react.
Exactly.
You know, it's almost like they have a mind of their own. The day before and several weeks before, we went through all the components of both cars to make sure everything was working perfectly fine. And I remember the morning coming off the trailer to drive the car onto the field. The Lusso began to give us battery issues.
Yeah, it started to struggle a little bit.
We had to jump start the car, and then we just parked the car and we crossed our fingers. It would start when the judges came around, and sure enough, I think the motorsport. I think Fangio was right there with us, and he helped us start that car up.
Yeah, I put the fuel pump on, and then the second I pushed the key in,
it started immediately.
Right away, and that moment, that pressure kind of just left.
Because then we had to start the car again to go to the podium.
Yeah, which we
and then we had to start it one more time, and it never started again after that. So it was. I'm not kidding when I said, you know, the motorsport gods were there with us.
So yes, the car did go to the podium. Both cars made it to the podium.
Yeah.
Luckily, we won.
But let's explain how that works before you reveal everything, right? There's a designated person. He's walking around. He's putting stickers on your car, and you don't understand what that means, but you do know you received the price. And what does the price mean? It could be a platinum. It could be a
oro or
argento. So platinum, gold, or silver. Silver being the least awarded, platinum being the highest awarded.
Correct.
Every car, and we explained this before, but in case you're not very familiar, as the judges walk up to your car, it's assumed that your car is 100 points. It's a perfect car. As the judging takes place, the inspection takes place, points begin to be deducted.
Right.
So if you score a 97 plus, you know you have a platinum car, which is essentially nearly a perfect car. So we didn't know what we were in for until you drive up to the podium and you hear the announcement.
Exactly. So we were very happy to hear.
And this was the first. This one, there was 2 Testarossas in the preservation class. This was the second one to drive by, and the second car of the entire show of 86 cars. We did receive the Platinum Award. I was there. Renzo was driving the car. I was taking pictures of him. And then, oddly enough, this was the last car to go.
This is the last car to go.
The absolute last car of all 86 cars on the field. And I was driving. You were taking pictures of me.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we got the Platinum Award also on the 250 Lusso.
Yeah, and we were extremely happy with this. The cars got loaded up right away. They were brought back here to the barn, And the next day is when we came back home. Unfortunately, because of the business, we needed to come back here. But the major awards were giving out the night afterwards at the gala.
Right. So not every class, but most classes have major awards. So which was the best car in that category?
Exactly.
And
we weren't expecting anything there. We were happy with our Platino awards, and we got the message that
we got the message. Testarossa gets basically a best in class for preservation. Major award. We don't have that award with us yet. Again, we weren't there, so they're being sent to us.
Yes.
And then we get the notification that the GT here receives the most outstanding Ferrari built between 1950s and 1960s. So, I mean, wow, what a friggin' honor. These cars truly speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I'm just in love with this car. We posted some stuff on our Instagram about this car before in May when we sold it to its current owner. And again, so privileged to be able to work with a car on a continuous basis. We're planning to be at Cavallino 21.
Yes.
And that's just around the corner. Yeah. So if you guys are out there, you want to lay some eyeballs on this car, by all means. I mean, we had people coming up to us, other Lusso owners, asking us to take pictures of the car because they're trying to
take a look at the trunk and see how the trunk setup was. And
let me look at your tool bag, and look at it and the screw and the nuts and the bolts. And the car is truly becoming an example for the rest of the cars. And that's the importance of these concours. It's not about going, it's not about winning. It's about, number one, learning. The more we do these shows, the more we learn about these cars.
Exactly.
And
keep
what that means to me is, we're preserving a little bit of knowledge for future generations to come, right? Because if we don't have an example, over the years you lose what these cars were supposed to be, because the fact is most of them today are restored. To find an original car from the 1960s, very, very difficult. So if we don't restore these cars properly, how do we know what they were when they were brand new? So these concourses are just years and years and years and years of documentation, different cars, different shows, different people, and all that knowledge has come together to provide what we know today. So I think it's important that cars like these and like that, especially that hasn't been restored, that's what a Testarossa looked like, brand new. You walked into the showroom field, and today, it's 30 years later, there's a whole generation that would never know otherwise.
Exactly.
So it's very important.
This car, I think now is gonna be retired from the concourses, and I think it's won all its awards.
I think for a few years, right? It's got 2 platinums, the best in show, and a preservation platinum, and a preservation major award. So
and a Copa Bella Macchina.
And a Copa Bella Macchina. There's literally no more. There's no more this car can win. It's taking home every single prize. So I think it's a good idea. Take it off the circuit for a little bit, come back in a few years, say, look, it's still good enough. Boom.
Exactly. All right, guys, I think this is going to wrap up this video. Really, it was an amazing experience, and we have there the photos and videos you guys see of us partaking in this amazing event, and we hope to continue to take, be a part of these events as we move through the years.
Yeah. Special thanks to the owners and the families for allowing us to represent these cars.
Definitely.
Always a privilege. So guys, please hit that subscribe button. Let's keep this channel going. Let's keep this channel growing and supportive. Till next week, I'm Gaston Rossato.
And I'm Rossato. Peace out.